First on 5 at this hour, an update on the hundreds of cats and dogs found abandoned and starving at a shelter in Somerdale. It's video only seen on News 5. Animal control officers pouring food into the cages of the abandoned pets and the animals desperately trying to get at it. Authorities spent all night and most of the morning cataloging the animals, making sure the weakest got the treatment they needed first. In all, they found 200 animals at Purple Hearted Puppies Kennel in Somerdale. Just when we all thought it couldn't get any worse, more abandoned animals have been found in Robertsdale at a house also owned by Sharon Dewitt. News 5's Pat Peterson begins our team coverage at noon. He joins us live from Somerdale. And Pat, you were in Robertsdale this morning when animal rescuers removed more starving animals from the house.
You're right, Bill. Another gruesome and heartbreaking scene, this time about 8 to 10 miles north in Robertsdale. More dead dogs and cats, at least 15 of them, according to investigators. One person on the scene described the situation as a house of horrors part 2. Here's some video right now. As I mentioned, at least 15 dogs and cats were abandoned here, left without food and water. The animals hadn't eaten or had anything to drink in at least 10 days. Police officers and animal rescue personnel removed the animals from the house and immediately fed them. Just like the heartbreaking scene in Somerdale, these animals devoured the food and water. Some of the animals appeared to be somewhat healthy, but investigators say a few of them won't survive.
Well, I'm not a vet, but from the looks of what I've seen, there's a possibility that some will not make it. And there was food right on the premises, but yet these animals are starving to death, locked away in these expensive cages.
And again, you're looking at some more video here. As in this Somerdale case, investigators in Robertsdale say Sharon Dewitt faces animal cruelty charges in their jurisdiction. And you know, Bill, what an awful situation. Joining me right now is my colleague and partner, Debbie Williams. We've both been on the scene of these locations for the past day or two. And just tell us what the situation here is in Somerdale.
Well, last night we asked anyone who could help to help. And you came out in droves today in Somerdale. A lot of volunteers at a place that is now quieter and a little bit cleaner. There are a few dogs still left on site. And those dogs, we've noticed, have a different attitude about them. They're happier. They're a little more excited, like the people are here to actually help them. And the people that did show up showed up in droves. Yay! Hundreds of volunteers showed up bringing food, blankets, and offering homes to the hundreds of animals abandoned at Purple Hearted Puppies Animal Rescue.
This was a private shelter that was a hoarding gone awry.
Sonia Presley with the Baldwin County Humane Society says there was no rescue here.
What we discovered is a hoarding situation. There's chihuahuas in closets. The only reasons those animals inside the house made it are they had humongous bags of food sitting all over the floor, and the dogs chewed into that.
Last night's rush to save dying and starving dogs and cats.
Yeah, they're scared, they're hungry, they have no idea what we're doing, so just be really careful.
Has given way to a new beginning for all the animals.
We're bringing them outside and letting them get some fresh air and some water, letting them use the bathroom.
Only a dozen or so dogs remain on site. Area veterinarians have taken them for health checks. Those that can be saved will eventually be up for adoption.
We are going to put the photographs of the animals that survived on our website, baldwinhumane.org. It's going to take a few days. This is a mammoth operation here.
It'll take more than just a few days. We have the U.S. Humane Society en route to the Somerdale location right now to offer more help. There are animals given out to all of the vet clinics in the general area, trying to get the health and the well-being of those dogs taken care of, as well as about 75 cats. Now, the question that everyone has is what happens now with the prosecution. We showed you Sharon Dewitt last night and her reasoning for this to go the way it has gone. You have more information on that, Pat.
Thanks, Debbie. You're right. What an exhausting, physically and emotionally exhausting night for journalists and particularly law enforcement officers. Joining me now is Police Chief Eddie Ingram. What's the latest on the investigation?
Well, we're about to wrap up on our end. I've been on the phone with the district attorney's office. They got investigators en route so we can sit down today and put all this together. We knew before, we didn't want to jump the gun too quick, but the DA's office is involved, and we plan to upgrade these charges to felonies. And we're looking at probably 30 to 40 additional counts per person. So it's going to take us a lot of time to deal with this, but we just appreciate the support we've had from the community.
And we understand the suspect did make bail. She did bond out.
They made bail on the first 20 charges, but again, there's more charges forthcoming. They're in the process of being, the paperwork's being done at this time, so this could go on probably for another week, Pat.
Chief, we've got some video up from last night. You were there, a horrifying scene. Just describe again your thoughts when you first came out here.
Well, I think it's totally ridiculous. You know, it wasn't the fact that the feed wasn't available, the water wasn't available. It's just the fact that people were not responsible enough to take care of these animals, and when animals can't help themselves, it was probably one of the worst things I've seen as far as animal cruelty in 32 years.
And again, that's a good point. You're a veteran police officer. I'm a veteran journalist. And we were talking off camera last night. This is probably one of the worst cases we've had to deal with, at least in recent years.
It's ridiculous. Like I said, they had everything here to take care of the animals. Why not? And obviously, by looking around, you can see they would have had to help had they called. They could have called us. We could have got the help. But to just totally abandon 200-plus dogs and cats, you know, they're going to have to account for it.
One more important thing that we talked about earlier, the community has really rallied around these helpless animals. Talk about that.
Well, we received over 160 calls this morning within about a 2-hour period. We're actually turning help away. What we need now is financial contributions made out to the Baldwin County Humane Society to further the care of these animals. We got plenty of food, blankets, and all that's been taken care of, but the finances, that's what runs out quick. And that's what they need, and that will help this situation. And this facility is court order. We shut it down, and hopefully this won't be repeated in Baldwin County again.
All right, thank you, Police Chief Eddie Ingram, for your hard work and your dedication to this developing story. Again, my partner Debbie Williams and I will be out here in the Summerdale-Robertsdale area, 2 developing stories, hundreds of dogs and cats near starvation. Some of them haven't made it yet, a very unfortunate situation. We'll bring you the latest tonight on News 5 at 5 and 6. Reporting live in Summerdale, Pat Peterson, News 5.